I found these two prints on the internet, and there is a challenge by Christopher Forensics. Actually, it is stated that the print on the left is a fabrication, and that the two prints did not originate from the same finger. And whatever the case be, the challenge was to refute that this is not an identification. I will go through the process of disclosing my conclusion on the two prints, and I will illustrate them in this program. These are the two prints placed side by side, and I tried to rotate them in as good a position as I could so that the ridge features would align horizontally. As you can see, there is a rather significant scar in this region here. This has caused the ridges to pull and move somewhat, so they are no longer in the same position as they were before the scar. The print on the left is before the scar, and so that I know that the scar occurred, or I presume the scar occurred afterward, and I have to place it to the right to sequence it. What I'm going to do is mark the ridge features with red circles, and these are the identifying unique characteristics that are used to identify a print and determine if two prints originated from the same finger. Though these look somewhat different in appearance, my goal here is to prove that this is an identification. I'm now going to bring in the ridge features, and I will designate them with a circle. I'm starting on the left side of the print, and I will be working my way downward and across. Each of these circles represent either an ending ridge or a bifurcation. I'm using the yellow arrows just to designate some very interesting and unique ridge formations. Coming up the right side now, and pay attention to this these two ridges here, this overlapping ridge here. I'm not going to mark that, I'm just going to leave that for now. Okay, this is the completed ridge feature plot that I've made, and now I have not marked every single ridge feature, but I definitely got most of them in this process. This is more than enough ridge features to make an identification. This is a representation of all the ridges that I marked. This does not represent the ridge flow, but it does illustrate the XY position of each of the ridges. And it's very clear this constellation has regions that are not marked and there are regions that are blank, and this would be indicative of continuous ridges that do not have ridge events. This is the scarred print, the one that was on the right, and I'm going to do the same thing I did with the other print and designate ending ridges and bifurcations with red circles. On this print, I'm starting on the right side and moving across. And if you'll note right in here, I did not mark these overlapping ridges. Again, I am marking the ending ridges and bifurcations with red circles, and the two yellow arrows are designating two very unique ridge structures. I'll just continue. I'm almost finished. Okay, here is my completed plot on the print. This is the representation of the ridge features on the second print, and again it shows, like the other print, exactly the location of the ridge features. Again, these are the two prints that I am comparing without any ridge features marked. These are the two prints with the ridge features that I marked with red circles and the yellow arrows. This is the representation of the ridge features that were marked in the two prints. The ridge features that I've illustrated here provide proof of what I examined and determined that the article states that this was a fabrication and that the two prints did not originate from the same finger. It was requested that anybody that wanted to refute this fabrication should go ahead. In this process, I hope that I illustrated that there is more than enough sufficient compliant ridge features in the same relative position when you take into consideration the scarification and how it can cause the print and the pattern to move, that this is now easily seen as an actual identification, and the two prints originated from the same finger, and the difference that is visible clearly was due to a scar. I'm going to address now another posting on this print, and it goes further into explaining the concept that if there is one single difference in a print comparison, then it negates the identification. The author goes into a number of things, including challenging people to prove that he's wrong, and he actually says some things about fraud that a person committed in this. I'm going to discuss what he posted, and this is extremely elementary. Some of the most basic explanation of fingerprint identification, but maybe he could benefit from this somewhat. I'm going to go ahead and enlarge this somewhat. It's somewhat pixelated and smeared, but or it's just overprinted. But anyway, we have two areas of presumably the same print, or two different prints, the same area. And on the left, it's real clear that the image is much darker and the ridges themselves are much narrower. The print on the right, the ridges are almost twice as wide. So we have to take the consideration that the method that the two prints were recorded was considerably different, whether they're both live scan or one was ink and one was live scan. I don't know that. But I'm just going to go into what is described here as the recognition of dissimilarity. And based on the amount of information here, of course, I would start in the very center, which is near the delta. This actually is the delta region. And we've got this short ridge here that's kind of vertical, and this would comply in this region here. Again, it's much bigger on the right, and I don't know about the sizing, but that's not really that important. Let's move over one ridge. Let's count one ridge and then pick up this ending ridge here. So I'm right here now. I'm going to just go up from there on both of them, and I will get this, what this looks like, an ending ridge or a bifurcation. So I'm going from here up and going over, and there's a pretty good cutout here, and this very likely is pore structure causing this indentation. It's not quite as visible here. It could be this right here where it's lighter. Let's move again using this as our base and count. We'll start here. Count 1, 2. So we're counting 1, 2, and now this second ridge is rising into a bifurcation. So I have counted 2 ridges over, and I have a bifurcation here. If I go to this side here and count 2, I have 1, 2, and now I have what is apparent here as an ending ridge. However, if this is considered by the author to be a dissimilarity or a discrepancy, I think he's very wrong. This very easily could be a pore area where caused the print not to connect like it does here. Let's move down from this and pick up another bifurcation here, and find it moving down in this region here. Now we have what appears to be a break, and I think anybody would know that this is not 2 ending ridges. This is definitely caused by a pore and making this gap here. It is not very apparent in this region here, except for this structure here could easily be that region right there that has its gap. The other thing that I think is really unusual and very unique about this print is if we drop down and get to this ridge here, there's something very important happening here. There is the ridge, and it's rising and going across and coming back down, and then it's terminating into a small, it looks like a water droplet there. It's a short ridge, and we have that exact same thing here, only it's much thicker. And this again is a very unique formation, and it is compliant in both of them. That the author would say that this is proof that these prints are not from the same finger is it's very inaccurate, and he challenged somebody from the IAI or somebody involved in fingerprint identification to straighten this out, and I hope I have done that.